In this course, I am making a number of assumptions about you and your current knowledge base. One of the big assumptions I'm making is that you are in fact ready for this video course. Now, you can consider yourself to be ready and a perfect candidate for this course if you match the following criteria. Number one, you know how to use your operating system. Now, by this I mean you know how to boot it up, you know how to save, close, open different types of documents and different types of applications. Next, I assume that you know how to build web pages using HTML. Now, ideally, you know how to build those web pages using just a plain text editor, and you can build them purely by hand. However, if you know how to build web pages using a WYSIWYG application, that's okay too. The only thing that's going to be necessary is that you know how to hand edit those pages and feel comfortable enough trying to do that. A subpoint about using HTML here is that I also assume that you have a fair amount of knowledge about HTML and how it works. So I'm assuming that you know the difference between a paragraph tag and an unordered list tag, as well as how to add specific types of attributes to those. Now, we will talk a little bit more about adding in attributes that are appropriate for cascading style sheets, but I assume that you have a general level of understanding where you feel comfortable building some of these things by hand. However, like I said before, if you've used your WYSIWYG applications for years and you already know everything that there is to know about HTML just by being around it, then you may do all right. If you need further information about HTML, I do recommend that you check out some of the other fine videos available through the virtual training company covering that specific material. I also assume that you are more or less just getting started using CSS. Now, if you are an experienced web designer and you need to learn everything that there is to know about CSS, well, this may not be the most appropriate course for you. However, I'm sure that there are some pretty good little nuggets somewhere in here that might suit your needs. So, as I was saying, this course is designed for those who are just more or less getting started using CSS. Now, if you've been using CSS for a while, but you're not an expert, and you want to get some more understanding so that you can function on a daily basis with CSS at a comfortable level, then this may be an appropriate course for you. I'm also assuming that you will be designing for a modern standards compliant browser. Now, by this I mean that you're not having to support a lot of legacy systems. What are legacy systems? Well, we're going to consider legacy systems for this course to be any system that is running a browser other than the ones you see right here. So we're going to be designing for these modern standards compliant browsers, Safari, Firefox, and Internet Explorer 7 and up. If you are using some of these legacy browsers or other browsers, you may need to do some additional research for potential workarounds dealing with some of these CSS issues. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why there may be some issues with each of our different browsers and why there may be some differences in an upcoming movie. But these are the assumptions that I've made about you and your knowledge base, and hopefully you have met all of these criteria so that you can proceed to maximize your learning experience with this video course.